you're black, you should be thinking black. And if you're black and you're not thinking black at this late date, well, I'm sorry for you.
A second aspect of our problem, I believe, is the fact that after the South established itself in this respect, the rest of the country tacitly agreed. What does that mean? It simply means that the rest of the country went along with it. They did very little to change the situation in the South.
To say we must reaffirm our commitment to nonviolence. I want to stress this. The futility of violence in the struggle for racial justice has been tragically etched in all the recent Negro riots. And yesterday I tried to analyze the riots and deal with the causes for them. Today I want to give the other side. There's something painfully sad about a riot.
Mr. Chairman, to the Credentials Committee, my name is Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer, and I live at 626 East Lafayette Street, Ruleville, Mississippi, Sunflower County, home of Senator James O. Eastland and Senator Stennis. It was the 31st of August, 1962, that 18 of us traveled 26 miles to the county courthouse in Indianola to try to register to vote, to try to register to become first-class citizens. We was met in Indianola by the city police and the state highway patrolmen, and they only allowed 2 of us to go in to take the literacy test at the time. Now, after we took the test, we headed on back to Ruleville, but we was held up by the city policemen and the highway patrolmen, and they carried us all the way back to Indianola, where the bus driver was charged that day with driving a bus the wrong color. Well, after we paid the fine among us, we headed on back to Ruleville, and Reverend Jeff Sonny took me 4 miles into the rural area of Ruleville, and it was where I was a timekeeper and a sharecropper for like 18 years. I was met by my children, and they tell me that the plantation owner was angry because I tried to go down the register. Before they finished, my husband came and he said the plantation owner was raising Cain because I tried to go down to register. Well, before he finished talking, the plantation owner came. He said, Fannie Lou, did you hear what I said? Did Pap tell you what I said? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, I meant it. If you don't go down there and withdraw your registration, you might have to leave. And if you go down there and withdraw your registration, you still might have to leave because we're not ready for that in Mississippi. I said, I didn't go down there to register for you. I went down there to register for myself. Well, I had to leave that same night. The 10th of September, 1962, 16 bullets were fired in the house of Mr. and Mrs. Robert Tucker for me. That same night, 2 girls were shot in Ruleville, Mississippi. And also Mr. James McDonald's house was shot in. On the 9th of June, 1963, I had taken one of those voter registration workshops. And I was headed back to Mississippi. And there was 10 of us traveling on the Continental Trailways bus when we stopped in Winona, Mississippi, which is Montgomery County. And so 4 of the people got off the bus to use the washroom. Now, some people got off to use the washroom and some people went in the restaurant. I stayed on the bus. But I could see 4 people that went in the restaurant, they was ordered out. So I'm on the bus at the time and I'm looking through the window, but I said, well, let me get off the bus to see what's happening. And I get off the bus and one lady says, it was the state highway patrolman and the chief of police ordered us out. So I got back on the bus and one of the people that got off to use the washroom got on the bus too. Well, not long before I was seated back on the bus, I could see they were trying to put 5 people in the patrolman's car. So I got off the bus to see what was happening. And somebody yelled from this car. They had 5 workers in. They said, get her right there. Get that one right there. So I go to get in the patrol car. And after the man tells me I'm under arrest, he kicks me. Well, they carried me down to the county courthouse, down to the county jail, and they placed me in the booking room. Now they left some of us in the booking room and they started to place some of us in the cells. I was placed in a cell with a woman named Ivesta Simpson. After I was placed in the cell, I began to hear licks and screams. I heard licks and horrible screams. And I heard somebody say, can you say yes, sir, nigga? Can you say yes, sir? And she said, yeah, yes, I can say yes, sir. He said, well, say it then. She said, I don't know you that well. They beat her. And I don't know how long they beat her, but after a while she began to pray. And she asked God for forgiveness, to have mercy on those people. Oh, they said some horrible things. Well, it wasn't too long before they came to my cell, 3 white men. One of them was a state highway patrolman. He said, where are you from? I said, Ruleville, Mississippi. He said, we're going to check on that. Well, they left. And it wasn't too long before they came back to my cell. He said, you from Ruleville, all right, and use some cuss words. He said, we're going to make you wish you was dead. So they took me out that cell and they took me to another cell. And there was 2 Negro prisoners in that cell. And the state highway patrolman ordered the first Negro prisoner to get the blackjack. And the Negro prisoner ordered me, by orders of the state patrolman, to lay down on a bunk bed with my face down. So after I laid on that bunk bed with my face down, the first Negro beat me. And he beat me till he was exhausted. Now at the time, I was holding my arm back on my left side because I suffered from polio when I was 6 years old. Now after the first Negro beat me till he was exhausted, the state highway patrolman, he said to the second Negro, get the blackjack. And that second Negro began to beat me. And I began to work my feet. And the state highway patrolman told the first Negro to sit on my feet so I won't work my feet. But then I began to scream. And the state highway patrolman, one of the other white men, he came over and he starts to beat me in my head and tell me to hush. My dress started to work its way up, and white man came over and he pulled my dress up, and I pulled it down and he pulled it back up. I was in jail when Medgar Evers was murdered. And I'm telling you, all of this is on account that we just want to register to become first-class citizens. And if the Freedom Democratic Party is not seated today, I question America. Is this America? The land of the free and the home of the brave, where we got to sleep at night with our telephones off the hook because our lives be threatened daily, all because we just want to be treated as decent human beings. Thank you.
For the African American community, that path means embracing the burdens of our past without becoming victims of our past. It means continuing to insist on a full measure of justice in every aspect of American life. But it also means binding our particular grievances for better health.